Yo, what's going on, guys? CultOfMush back at it with another video, and in this video, I want to talk about the inconsistency of PC gaming. Now, what's really bringing this video upon is the recent release of Gears of War Ultimate Edition, but inconsistency in PC gaming has been a thing that's been going on for a very long time. Gears of War Ultimate Edition is just the latest example of that, and I really wanted to cover it in its own video. So what I mean when I say inconsistency in PC gaming, I'm talking about performance of any game. I'll use Gears of War Ultimate Edition as an example because it's recent and it's pretty relevant. Now, the game is considered by most people as a terrible port, but with the majority of people with Gears of War Ultimate Edition, the issues have been on the AMD side. I obviously have been playing the game with an NVIDIA video card, and I've been seeing people running the game fantastically with GPUs like the GTX 960, the 970, the 980 Ti. So when I went into playing Gears of War Ultimate Edition, I thought, hey, I'm gonna get really good performance. So if a typical person was in my shoes and they were going into Gears of War Ultimate Edition, they would think, hey, I'm gonna get pretty good performance. This person with the GTX 960 got good performance on Gears of War Ultimate Edition, so me with the GTX 970, I should get really good performance on Gears of War. That's how it would work in theory, but that's not necessarily the case for me. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, while I won't say that it's broken on my PC, it is pretty bad. The game runs at 50 to 60 frames per second, but then it'll dip down to 30 frames per second, then the audio in the game actually cuts out, and then there's really bad stuttering in the game, and I don't know what the fix is. But obviously, on my PC, it's running very poorly compared to other people that actually have weaker hardware. And the reason for that is because there's so many variables on PC for getting a game to run. Yes, the main driving force behind performance in a PC game is your hardware. Your CPU, your GPU, how much RAM you have, those are gonna affect performance the most. But that's not the only thing. What software are you running in the background? What OS do you have? In Gears of War's case, obviously everybody's running Windows 10. Is any of your hardware a bit faulty? Is any of your software a bit faulty? There's so much that goes into getting a PC game to run that sometimes you'll have inconsistencies, and it's actually not as prevalent in newer games, but if you go back and play older games, that's when you're really gonna notice it. Deus Ex Human Revolution is a game that released in 2011, and a GPU in that time, something like a GTX 560, would be able to run the game no problem with no issues. So now in 2016, you would expect the newest video cards to absolutely demolish the game. Well, I actually booted up the game a few months ago and the game was stuttering all over the place and there were a lot of frame rate drops. Why is that? Again, there are so many variables that sometimes it's very hard to discern what exactly is causing those performance drops, and sometimes you'll never even figure out and you'll just give up. Yes, there are a lot of fixes online, but sometimes the issues are the most smallest things that you'll have to dig and dig the internet to find a fix for the game, and sometimes you'll just give up and quit. Is it an issue with the newest driver that you have installed? Is it an issue with the background application like Game DVR running? Is it a hardware issue? Like I said, there's so many variables, and honestly, sometimes it's very annoying. Another very good example is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 just came out on PC, and that game was a horrific port. Luckily, there are a lot of fixes online. So I boot the game up, it runs terribly for me. I was half expecting it because the Naruto games generally have been pretty bad ports. I go online and I look up all these fixes and I find this Steam thread, and someone has literally wrote an essay of all these different fixes, all these different things you can do that might fix the game. And this is something you guys really have to know about, because I'm not gonna say it happens all the time, but because PC gamers like me boast about 1080p 60 frames per second, it's also fair to let you guys know that are looking to get into PC gaming that there are a lot of inconsistencies with games like Naruto, with games like Gears of War, with older games like Deus Ex. Not everybody is gonna have these issues, but if I would have to put a percentage number on how many games I experience problems with, it's honestly like 10 to 15%, and that's pretty ridiculous. It's the weirdest thing. My PC can run Fallout 4 fantastically, but if I go play a game that was released back in 2009, for some reason, I can't run it. I gotta dig up all these sorts of stuff and figure out what's causing this inconsistency. This goes for comparing game performances and comparing video cards. A lot of us like to go online, go to YouTube, look up benchmarks. And yes, while benchmarks are fantastic, while they will give you a general idea of what performance you're gonna get, like I said, there are so many variables causing inconsistencies. I have a lot of videos benchmarking various video cards, and sometimes people comment, "Mush, I have the same video card, but I'm getting a lot less frames than you. Why is that?" That's a very hard question to answer because it could be so many things that it'll make your head spin. That's why when I do get a comment like that, I really can't respond because I don't know your machine. I don't know what software you have running in the background. I don't know what driver driver you're running. And like I said, it's not every game, but it is a bigger percentage of the games, at least in my experience, that these issues do arise in. And it's not like it's just the lower key games like your Gears of War and your Narutos. People had issues with Fallout, people had issues with The Witcher. Again, it might be a small percentage of isolated issues, but I really don't think it's as small of a percentage as you guys think, and I really do think that's one of the negatives of PC gaming, that no matter what, there is going to be that layer of inconsistency, at least with consoles. If you look up the performance of a console game and you have that same console, you're gonna get that performance. Yes, that performance might be terrible, but considering you're playing on a $300 box, you're probably gonna be okay with much lower frame rates, even if you got FPS dipping down to 20. On PC, when people do have these $1,000, these $1,500 PCs, and you got dips in frame rates and inconsistencies, and you gotta go online and find out fixes, that is very annoying. I know a lot of you guys might not like this video, I know a lot of you guys are gonna dislike this video, but I've always prided myself in not just sucking off PC gaming. While PC is my favorite gaming platform, it's not a perfect gaming platform, and the inconsistency of PC gaming is just one of those issues. It's an issue that I hope gets better in the future as more and more developers start getting more experience with developing games on PC and developing games for all these different hardwares, but I don't think this is an issue that can ever be fixed, because in some cases it's not really the developer's fault. There's no possible way in testing every single configuration, running every single software that's known to man. It's just not possible, because sometimes these are the most minute issues that nobody can test for. So as always guys, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you disliked, hit the dislike button. If you have a request for a future video, leave it in the comment section down below. Have a great day, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.